Honestly, I was not happy when I was writing the album. I was actually like super low. I was in a horrible place. I just like really thought about it. I'm like, really, truly, who is fucking happy? Because I know damn sure like I'll have moments of it, but I know it doesn't last. Growing up, albums always been super important to me. My mom used to take me to the CD store and I'd pick out a bunch of stuff, you know, from the rock, alternative, punk section. My mom worked like 20 minutes away from our house. So I went to school actually at a Catholic school, like a Catholic grammar school. Every day we would drive and just listen to albums. Just crazy, like listening to like the blink-182 albums. I can remember that exact day. My mom was 21 when she had me, so she had really good taste. She put me onto some really good stuff like Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Three Doors Down. That was like one of her favorite bands. Nirvana, like she listened to some really good stuff. I think I was always interested in making music. I knew as a kid I wanted to be a rock star. I wanted to be like a lead singer or a guitarist. My Uncle Pat was in this band called Morning Glory. They were crushing it, touring with like Chevelle, Disturbed. And I remember like hearing his CD, my mom had it on the counter, listening to it. My mom came in the room, she's like, what are you listening to? And it was my uncle's band apparently, and I had no idea. And she's like, this is your Uncle Pat, your godfather. So when I met him, I was like starstruck, and he actually gave me a bass. Tried to learn how to play bass, had lessons. Wasn't very good. Then I picked up guitar. Was okay, just wasn't good enough. So grammar school started playing in a lot of bands, and I like would play guitar and be the front man. Originally it started out as like pop punk, kind of alternative, then like screamo, and then I even played in a hardcore band, like hardcore deathcore band in high school. The band stuff didn't really work out, so I just kind of went to a pretty urban school, so all the kids were rapping, and from that point, you know, I was like, why not? So I started rapping, and now I mix the two together, you know, my upbringing, and here we are. People are always asking me, you know, your sound's so different, where do your influences come from? And when I think about it, my top 10 albums of all time would probably have to be blink-182 self-titled. I just love that album. It's so catchy, so many hits. I just remember listening to it. I was in grammar school and I can relate to it on so many levels. Chief Keef, Finally Rich. I'm from Chicago, so the drill scene was like massive, and Chief Keef had bangers after bangers, and they were just the catchiest songs ever. So he actually influenced a lot of my music, the trap elements and the kind of anthem-y hooks. Future, Dirty Sprite 2, I love Future. I think that guy can't make a bad song. Linkin Park, Hybrid Theory. I remember when that album came out, another band that really hit life on the head for me. It was just a real heartfelt, raw emotion, and I like the rapping elements and kind of the electronic bass sound they had. Day to Remember, Homesick, easily one of the sickest albums ever. Another album with just hit after hit, total pop punk bangers, but it was also heavy, and the screaming and the breakdowns was just insane. The Game, the documentary, I love that album. That was actually the first album that I actually really got into as far as like rap music. I remember hearing Hate It or Love It on the radio, and I was like, I need this album. So went and got it. My mom was cool as hell, and she's like, it didn't matter. I got like the parental advisory version. She like didn't care as long as like no one else knew about it, so that was pretty sick. So I can actually probably rap that album front to back. Next would have to be Silverstein, When Broken Is Easily Fixed. I remember my cousin Jessica gave me a CD and just had a bunch of different bands on it. Silverstein was on there and smashed into pieces, and I thought that was like the sickest thing. I think that was the first time I ever heard screaming. I just love that album still to this day. My manager actually drums in the band. Shout out my manager Paul. He's fucking awesome. Next would have to be Limp Bizkit, Chocolate Starfish, and the hot dog flavor water. Fred Durst is just a legend. I liked his confidence, his attitude. He just didn't give a fuck. Like rapping, but also like screaming, and like singing heavy hooks. It was honestly badass. One of my favorite heavy albums of all times would have to be Emmure, Goodbye to the Gallows. That album is just stupid fucking heavy. Frankie Palmieri was like the reason I started actually screaming and started deathcore bands. System of the Down, Toxicity. Classic album. I remember when it first came out. I was just super thrilled with Serge's vocals and how he kind of was all over the place with it. And I remember being in like 4th or 5th grade, and it was like each week a student got to bring in an album and play one of their favorite songs. And I remember wanting to play Chop Suey. My mom's like, no, you can't play it. Like the hook is like when angels deserve to die. I went through a really kind of heartfelt, up and down, toxic relationship the last 2 years of my life. So when I started the whole dying a designer, I was in like a really, really low place. I mean, I was depressed, I had really bad anxiety, suicidal thoughts. Just overall was not happy. I was probably the lowest of the low. So I started writing and putting all my feelings, emotions into songs, and it came very therapeutic for me. You might be able to tell, hey, this was during the relationship, or this song was after the relationship. It was honestly like a really, really hard situation to deal with. And I just wasn't happy. I wasn't confident. I tried to play it off like calm, cool, collected, but deep down I was really fucked up. And music really helped me kind of instead of bottling those emotions, I was able to get it out through songs. Oh, it sucks because I have to like go sing every night when I play shows about these songs and like relive the situations. But my favorite song on the album probably is this song called Poet. It was after the relationship. I signed with Hopeless Records. So I got a little bit of confidence back. Music was going well. I think it was at that point I was just like, fuck it, I'm fucked up, I'm broken. I feel like I'm a fuck up, no good, but like I'm doing something for once. And I think I just had the most fun with that song. I think you gotta go through some shit. You have to have like shitty moments and be down and have rough times, because when the good and the happy times, they're like so much better. So I think that's what we live for as people. So that's what Nobody's Happy is about. I honestly never fit in. Like I've always had problems fitting in with people. I don't think people really got me, and it's amazing because my fans actually get me. Me and my fans are a lot alike. I think we're going through a lot of the same stuff, and they're honestly amazing people. I mean, I've met so many people on the road and just shows and just DMing fans, and it's amazing to see how big my music impacts their life every day.